In the early hours of the 6th of September 1983, a freight train thundered into Maidstone East station in Kent, completely out of control. The result? One spectacular derailment, a station left in ruins, and the driver, well, let's just say he shouldn't have been driving anything that night, let alone a train. Let's set the scene. It's around 2 a.m. on the 6th of September 1993, and a freight train, 6 Mike 57, from Dovertown Yard to Willesden, is rumbling through the Kent countryside. Hauling 15 wagons loaded with steel coils and chipboard, British Rail Class 47288 is in charge up front. Approaching Maidstone East on the upline, there's a tight speed restriction, a mere 25 miles an hour. But this train is speeding along at an estimated 60 miles an hour. So why isn't the train driver slowing down? As we'll discover, 36-year-old Graham Barnes was well over the legal alcohol limit, reportedly downing a bottle of vodka before taking the controls and eventually falling asleep behind the controls outside of Maidstone. Maidstone East, around 2:12 in the morning, the station is dark and silent. Suddenly, as the roar of 6M57 approached the sharp curve near the platform at about 60 miles an hour, well over the 25-mile limit for that section, the wheels shriek on the rails, the locomotive lurches, and then bang. The Class 47 derails violently, tipping onto its side and sliding the platform's length just meters from the bridge over the River Medway. The wagons behind start a horrific chain reaction, jackknifing and piling into the station. And then, almost as quickly as it began, it's over. Silence descends, broken only by the hiss of damaged air hoses and the clang of loose metal. The Class 47 is left lying at its side, wagons piled in a mangled heap behind it. Had this happened in daylight with commuters around, the outcome would have been far more tragic. When the dust settled, the scene was utter destruction. Sections of both platforms had crumbled. Most of the canopies were destroyed, and a signal gantry became twisted amongst the wreckage. A pedestrian tunnel also collapsed so dramatically that eyewitnesses said it looked like crumpled paper. Miraculously, no one was seriously hurt. The driver survived with bruised ribs and quite the hangover, I'm guessing. In this real twist, reportedly, the signaller, who must have an epic view of the event, invites the driver up for a cup of tea while they waited for the emergency crews. If that doesn't get more vicious, then I don't know. Just to go slightly off topic for a second, while researching this story, I came across an incredible eBay listing. I found a painting portraying the aftermath of the event with the Class 47 on its side, the freight wagons off the rails in the background, and even a police officer guarding the scene. What makes this even more unique is that this was painted by Graham Barnes, aka the train driver involved. The listing mentioned this painting was done while Barnes was serving time in prison for the accident. If you want this unique and random piece of railway memorabilia, I'll leave a link to the listing in the description below. Now back to the story. In the immediate aftermath, the question was, why on earth was this train racing through a 25-mile-an-hour zone at 60? Inspectors discovered the train's brake setup wasn't optimised for the heavy load on the evening. Bad enough on its own, but the real culprit was driver intoxication. Graham Barnes had consumed the better part of a bottle of vodka before stepping into the cab that night. He was charged with endangering safety and causing massive damage to both the station and train. In court, he pled guilty and ultimately served a 12-month prison sentence. Fortunately, no lives were lost, but the damage to Maidstone East Station, which was estimated to cost £2.5 million, or in today's money just over £5 million, plus the chaos caused to British Rail Network South East, was enormous. Maidstone East looked like a battlefield. Recovery crews moved in with heavy cranes to lift the overturned locomotives and wagons. Passengers arriving that morning were greeted not by a gentle commute, but flashing emergency lights and a gaping hole where part of the platform had once been. Rebuilding took months. Engineers had to replace twisted tracks, reconstruct platforms, and reinstall signals. The Class 47 was deemed beyond repair and was eventually scrapped in 1986 at CF Booth scrapyard in Rotherham. While it's safe to chuckle about the driver being offered tea, having just slid his train sideways through a station, this was an accident that could have gone horrifically wrong at a busier time. It serves as a stark wake-up call for British Rail. After the Cannon Street rail crash a couple of years prior, and now the Maidstone accident, this helps enforce a new strict zero drug and alcohol policy, which is rightly still enforced with every rail operator today. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more interesting stories from the UK rail scene, then please consider subscribing to the channel. Stay safe, don't drink and drive, and we'll see you in the next video.